stand, 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Turn it to the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Turn it to the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Turn it to the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Turn it to the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey, good Monday morning.
Happy
Yes.
Monday.
Is it morning? Is it morning now?
Is it morning
I don't
and
know
is
if it's
it
morning
is it
now.
Monday?
It is Monday.
I
It
can't
is.
tell. This
Trust
this
me.
environment.
We're
just has
in
me all
some
off.
new space, the final frontier. I mean, what has happened here?
Look at all that.
Yeah, welcome
I know,
to the
right?
new Tech Shaman set,
Yeah, and it's going to get better and better.
which includes
as we get along.
shamans and tech, old tech.
Well,
We've really
old
collected
tech.
some very cool stuff back
Maybe new
here.
tech somewhere. You have to find it. If,
Well, you're watching the
just
new
watch
tech.
it.
This is old tech.
Yeah,
We're
I
we're
mean-
the new tech.
Hey, the thing of it is, we're not sharing a set with anybody. This is our
No,
set.
no, this is 100%
So
our
as we
set.
go along, we can actually put more stuff, less stuff.
Yep.
You know,
More
We can
film
put
projectors.
Nothing up there. No, we call it no tech,
No tech.
right?
No, that's the one thing we can't do is no tech.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think
So.
I think Rod's going to come out and adjust my camera. I feel like I have to hunch over. So, normally we talk about did we tech this weekend, did we not tech this weekend? But we've been gone for such a long time that
Did we tech this month?
we tech this. Oh my God, we tech this month. I mean, look.
Oh,
if you
my
could see the
God.
studio, I've got to get Rob.
This is insane.
I got to get Rob
Yeah.
so we can start using the new NDI software out there because we can use our cameras as cameras.
Yeah.
Live cameras. I could actually show the whole
that
studio.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
We could actually do a studio.
Yeah, studio live shot. That would be very
right,
cool.
Exactly.
Very
we used
cool.
to kind of do that,
Yeah.
but
But now, I mean, we're in one of our studios, and within the one studio, there are 4 sets within just one of the studios.
Yeah.
And then there's another studio just as big in the back. This is just phenomenal. We have
exactly.
so much space. It's so
and
cool.
It's cool, man. It's so cool. I'm
totally
I'm
awesome.
trying to.
Yeah, totally.
I'm trying to do
Now we
stuff.
sound like our intro.
I know, right? Well, we are starting- we are-
It's totally awesome.
it's not a bad thing,
No,
a
no,
good
it's
thing,
like
right?
we're just doing brand awareness.
but we got to get people back because everybody's.
I know, nobody's used to watching us anymore. Hi, everybody.
Did you guys quit? No, we
We're
didn't quit. It's just-
back.
we built the
So,
studio.
for those of you who loyally hung out back there and actually said, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and keep trying every week," you have now been rewarded. You get 50 XP in case you were keeping track and you're trying to level up. So that's where that's at. We have so much cool stuff to go over today. I know you guys want to hear about tech more than anything, and one of the we kind of doing something a little bit different this time. We sort of picked a central topic, and then all 3 of us, that was an assumptive close in case you know what that is, all 3 of us have gone out and done some independent research on it.
We have.
To see what we've come up with. And so, John, why don't you go ahead and kick off what the hell that
a good
topic
friend
is.
of mine, I follow her posts all the time, and she's a writer, used to be an attorney. I'm not sure she's still an attorney. She rescues dogs, which is awesome. And I was watching her post about, she is trying to talk to Frontier. Oh, is anybody better than Frontier or Spectrum or anybody ever used, what is it, WoW?
Yeah, wow. Yep.
Whoa! And what she's trying to do is find a better wireless router. And if not, she's going to go pure wired. And so I fired up and I was like, well, why are you getting rid of your wireless router? She goes, well, because of the EMFs. And I'm like, wow. So I sat back because we're me and her both, or we're on that same world of conspiracy theories, and we get it whole 9 yards. And I said to her, well, your refrigerator puts off more EMF than your wireless router does. And then I said to her,
toaster oven.
that your Bluetooth headsets that everybody just said has to go there because of the brain tumors, puts off more EMF than your wireless router does. It blew her mind. I'm like, yeah, you. So she ordered a EMF, and she got a good one. I mean, this thing it's not a cheap one. It was, I think it was like $300-400. Mm-hmm. And she started walking around her house, and she fired back. And she goes, "Oh my God, John, I can't believe that all this."
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah, your space heater.
Can't.
Your space heater will generate, an enormous amount of EMF, as well as, because so much electricity is going through those coils,
right.
it generates a huge magnetic field, which is absolutely your worst combination if you're worried about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to so the first thing I went through is to my cable box.
Yeah.
0.80 UT microteslas.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not bad. The TV, 94. Right? So then I went to the outlet.
Yeah.
Or
the wall.
The wall.
The wall outlet.
Yeah.
The light switch?
Light switch.
Okay.
0.69. Then I went down to the microwave.
Oh. Well, now those are really well shielded for the high frequency.
Right.
But how are they on low?
0.97.
Okay.
On, I didn't catch that in time, was 1.5.
Okay.
So it's not bad. Then I went over to my wireless router from, we have two. One's from Frontier and one is from Spectrum, because I'm still on the Spectrum side, and my sons, they wanted, and I don't blame them, I get it. Both of those, 0.3.
Yeah, so there's almost nothing coming out of there.
No.
And what you have to remember is that the drop-off in the power, now this is before we even talk about whether it's harmful or not.
Right.
So let's establish what the playing field looks like.
I think
Rob
has a graph.
Okay, because the power drops off geometrically.
Yes.
So every 1 foot away you get, okay, if you started with 1 foot as your base measurement, okay, you are losing at least half of your strength.
Right.
So you keep going back further and further and further, and by the time you're 5 or 6 feet away, there's almost nothing left. These readings were John getting right on top of the devices.
Right.
In order to get this kind of level.
Look at that, a blender.
Oh, there we go.
I guess people don't realize that was some of the reasons why the FCCs was made, because they're not going to allow you to be, microwaved
Yes.
with consumer electronics.
I mean, so if you get into the world of, so then you get the people like, well, 5G is killing everybody. It can't kill everybody.
5G is the worst for range. I mean, just think about it. When you're trying to get your 5G signal in your house from your router, okay, as you get away from it, it has about a 20-foot range, and that is completely unusable.
That's why
the signal strength drop off is massive.
And the thing of it is, it's such a broad spectrum. And they did it, and the 5G has to be that way, so you can push it, because now you got to have repeaters.
Yes.
Which
is what I have in my
house. We have a graph
house.
up right now, 2.4. High and low peak valleys, widespread. You get into 5G, then it gets shorter, as in length, from peak to peak. So it takes more to start pushing that. I can't. Where I would start getting worried is when you start getting into the 8G, 9G, and then that is just that's an attack.
Yeah. As we move, the thing is, as we move higher up the spectrum, it takes less energy, okay, to make the radiation harmful. So a massive dose of 5G radiation, yes, it will ultimately hurt you. But when I say massive, I'm talking about like burying a transmitter inside your brain, okay, and then plugging it in with a 220 outlet and cranking the crap out of it.
What we found really confusing, if you go back, I don't know if you can go back to it or not, and if you can't, it's not a big deal, Rob, is that if you look at the megahertz and the strength, they put power lines at the low end spectrum.
Oh yeah, well, what they put out is ELF.
Right.
Okay, it is low frequency transmission.
And it's non-ionizing, which means it's not going to harm you as much as you think it's going to harm you.
Exactly. And if you want to give it a relative risk assessment, okay, you are about 1,000 times at more risk by spending the same, much less time out in the sun,
So here's
even with sunblock on.
Hey Rob, go back to that power line one because I want to show you something. So you get into the world of okay. So what did good old President Obama say? It was even before Obama. They started pushing us into fluorescence. Look at the wavelength
Yeah.
of the visible light, right, versus the frequency pattern for a fluorescent bulb.
Yep.
Right? That is what causes us we start getting into going blind.
Yep.
Right? So one of the first side effects of the whole radiation world, hold on, is your eyesight starts going bad.
Yes.
And then you start feeling bad. Now my friend literally she really couldn't get what she wanted for a wireless. So she has literally taken all the wireless stuff out of her house. No more Amazons, no more Google, no more anything that has a Wi-Fi has to have a Wi-Fi receiver to it.
Wow.
She pulled it. Now she says, and this could be a placebo thing, but she said she feels better.
Okay.
Okay. Now I will say. Now that because I was telling her, well, it really shouldn't matter. Did you know that you can walk through your house and still produce 0.7? 0.7 is it the UTs?
Yeah.
UT, right?
You are an electrical device. Okay,
Right.
you have biochemical electricity going on in your body, and whenever you move that, you create a magnetic field.
Right.
So you create your own magnetic field by moving.
Right, I understand it, but you can stand.
Yeah.
I can stand still in the middle of my house, and I get a 0.7, just standing there. But that's because you're in a contained space that has electrical wires running through it.
Oh yeah.
Plumbing running through it.
Now, is that with the
low
Wi-Fi
voltage.
off?
No, that's with the Wi-Fi on.
With the Wi-Fi on. Okay.
So
I wonder how much it would change. And I guess that's the real question. If you turned the Wi-Fi off, would it go to like 0.69?
Right.
You know?
But I tell you what, and I think this is the reason that I've started to like camping way more, because when I'm out in the woods,
Yeah.
nothing. I feel great. When I come back home and come back to work, I start
getting agitated.
tired and I get sluggish, and that's part of the EMF world. And that's why when on our other show we do Parageeks, when you're going into a location that has the paranormal, the EMF is so high,
Right.
it kind of drains on you, and people will go, I feel drained, I feel wore out, I felt good going in, now I feel bad. Well, the same thing if your house has too much EMF radiation going on inside, it can change your body, your mind, your how you feel, because EMFs are a drain on you. They pull and they will dehydrate you. That's okay. So
Interestingly, I read a study from 2017 in which what they found was that people who holding your cell phone to your head more than 50 minutes a day, actually the radiation from the phone, being that close, would cause the fats in the brain to burn away faster, and resulting in Alzheimer's.
well, and that's the whole thing back in 2000. Remember 2008, 2009.
I was just thinking that the fat's melting away, but then they just fall down into the.
I catch it all right here.
I'm sorry. I'm just keeping my phone right here from now on.
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay.
thinking.
And I'm just going to have it on. I don't care. Adam, I'll call you. You call me. We'll
gonna
just leave the
pass
phones
that
on.
stuff.
Thank God we're past the pay by the minute. You know.
But this is the whole thing that was back in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, 2005.
Yeah.
2006. Oh, it causes brain clusters, cancer clusters, blah blah blah. And then they want you to Bluetooth. Well, Bluetooth is just as harmful.
Oh yeah.
People don't. You're taking a poison to try to get rid of another poison.
Yeah.
Technically, what you should do is you just put your phone on speakerphone all the time and.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah,
And
speakerphone
let
is
the
the
radiation just
safest
go
way.
right into your mouth.
Right. You know.
Boy, I hope you weren't
So,
on close up
you know,
when he did that.
and think of this as if you're embracing technology and you are a
Yeah.
technology partner, this is a side effect. I love that whole movie, or the Apple show called Blind.
I haven't seen
yeah.
it. No.
You know, the whole this, I guess they nuked the world and whole 9 yards, and everybody went blind. So
Okay.
now all the kids get, everybody gets, they can't see and they're born blind, whole 9 yards. But now sporadically, because the Earth's been kind of healing itself and blah blah blah, now all of a sudden there's kids being born that can see.
Wow.
You know, it's called see, not
Right,
blind.
it is.
But everybody was blind.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
neat premise. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And the
Definitely
ones that
tune
can
that one
see
in.
are, they're evil.
Well,
No, the two
witches.
Kids, the two kids.
No,
are
no, no,
good.
no. That's what everybody thinks.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
it's witchcraft.
They're witches. Yes.
They're witches.
How dare
But
you.
It's witchcraft.
There is a ton
Yeah.
of radiation.
Right.
Yeah, and there's radiation everywhere, not just in your house. I mean,
Well,
in your
No, I mean-
doesn't Earth generate its own electromagnetic?
magnetic field.
Yes, I mean,
Isn't it a
that's
giant
how a
generator?
compass works,
I mean-
okay? But then you got to look at the massive amount of EMF we get from that bright glowing ball in the sky
Oh, yeah, forget
every
about it.
day. Okay, it is insane the amount of EMF we get, which is why if you spend time outside, especially in southern climes, you
Right.
end up with a very high risk of skin cancer. Okay, but that's the kind of exposure it takes. And the stuff you're getting from your devices is very, very low. However, having said that, one of the interesting things that goes on is that the effect of the EMF or ELFs may be indirect. In other words, you may end up with, it doesn't cause cancer, okay? Your phone doesn't cause cancer, but we found out that it does inhibit the production of melanin in your skin, okay, in your body, and melanin helps fight cancer. And so you end up, it's a correlation without a direct causal relationship.
Right.
You have this, hop, skip, and a jump that you have to get through. Now, latest studies also say, no, that's not showing up either. Okay, but that's just one possible mechanism that could be affected by this. And so we have to look at systems.
Right.
And I always think about, like food additives. And it's like, oh, you're okay in the parts per million thing with having this particular pesticide in your broccoli. Well, that's great, except I'm not just eating broccoli. I'm eating all these other things that also have it in it.
Well, stop eating
and
those and
then
just eat
stop
broccoli,
eating
you'll be all right.
food. There you go.
What do you need food for? Come on, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And so you end up with a cumulative effect. But like John just said, when you step into the middle of your house, okay, and you're at a 0.7, the question is, what is the cumulative effect of 0.7 on all of the involved systems, which is the problem that we're really facing here. Is it's a complex system.
So I think we should go back to the old days and have a canary in our house. And when the canary dies, it's time to move out of the house.
That's one way to do it. If you live in a coal mine, okay.
Radiation will kill them. And I don't know. I just she spawned a great debate online. It was like, well, what do? You can't turn your refrigerator off because and it produces more. Your stove itself produces more than your Wi-Fi.
Yes, and all of them are very close, or the closer you get, the higher they are. The real question is, what is your ambient measurement, which is less than many of these devices up close, okay, which it should be because they're the ones generating it, I mean, just logically speaking. So then the question is, what is the effect of that net cumulative? And I would love it if we could find out what the reading is with the Wi-Fi turned off in the exact same spot.
I'll do it.
And see how much of a change it
have
makes.
it next week.
Yeah, and we'll come back next week with that data.
Because guess what's up on the horizon? Wi-Fi 7.
Wi-Fi 7! Yay! Notice we're just skipping 6.
No, it's not. The 6 is out.
Oh, so Mark Muncie, who's watching, thank you, Mark, I appreciate it.
Hey, Mark.
Says, I blame microwaves for the breakup of Daft Punk. It makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So
I can see that, Mark. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it was a microwave oven on the grassy knoll.
The null.
And that's it. Yeah.
Well, that was a harsh one.
Yes.
So what they're talking about
Timer
is
was on too long.
you're still going to have your regular 5 gigahertz range.
Right.
So you'll have your 2.4 gigahertz, and then you'll have your 5 gigahertz
Okay.
range on the Wi-Fi. But what it is it's a new initiative of the Wi-Fi technology. So what they're doing is they're going to use like a multi-link technology
Right.
that allows multiple simultaneous links to the router from other device, from your device. So think of it as, you have, an incoming and outgoing channel.
Right.
You'll have multiple channels,
Okay.
which will allow you more bandwidth to be able to stream data, lower latency. They're just trying to fix some of the issues with the 5 gigahertz range. You ever be connected to a 5 gigahertz in your Wi-Fi in your house, and all of a sudden you just lose connection, or it just drops off?
Yeah, all the
randomly,
time.
and
Right, Spectrum.
you just get
No,
booted,
I don't have that happen. No, seriously, I've never had that happen.
It happens periodically, and it's just that the technology in the like Wi-Fi 6 has been out for like 5 years. The modems are just starting. I mean, the routers are just starting to come out. Really.
Okay.
Really mainstream.
Okay.
So you can buy a Wi-Fi 6 router for under $100 now, so which is great. But again, they're going to have a 5-time improvement on the bandwidth of Wi-Fi 6 with the new Wi-Fi 7.
Right.
So they're working on it now.
Wow.
They haven't figured it up. That's fine.
I'm getting get closer to your microphone.
I'm getting a get closer.
Yeah, you can
Kiss your microphone.
Love your mic.
But the
aim it down a little further. You might be a little more comfortable.
it's the EMFs.
It's EMFs. I'm telling you,
Wait a
They're
minute, the
right in my
microphone.
mouth.
They're messing with everything today. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So with the Wi-Fi 7, they're going to be testing it out. Probably give it about 3 years before you start seeing some of the routers coming out. I would say you'll have better connectivity, lower latency in your house, for wireless streaming and things like that, and also larger packets. will be
Okay,
able to
so
transfer.
so is this something that that the service providers are going to go, oh yeah, don't worry about it, we're already going to do it, or is it going to be one of those, we'll give you ours, it's crappy, you should go get your own?
It most likely will be. We'll give you the crappy one because we keep recycling the old crap that keeps failing, and go get your own.
Go get your own.
So yeah, it's going to be a while before they start adopting the technologies inside the modem / router combos. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Especially, they just have to give you whatever they're capable of. Yes, the old technology 5 dual band technology router
Right.
can give you the speeds that they say it can. That's all they have to give you. So if you want better connectivity, if you want more devices on your network, if you want better reliability, then go out and purchase your own router and connect it to their system and just
And
go from there.
do they like that when you do that?
They don't mind either way. I know Frontier, you have some issues connecting to their router
Because
modem
I was going to say
combos.
they don't like you to do it.
Yeah,
They literally told me that.
Yeah, there's ways to program it better to be able to make that connection. Like for instance, changing the IP address of the main router, turning off its internal firewalls and stuff like that, so you can go ahead and use your own routers.
Now, that's
It can be
something.
done.
If someone doesn't feel comfortable doing that, they can call you and do it, right?
Yes, we can help do services like that. Port forwarding, if you have camera systems, things like that. We can take care of all that and open up specific ports in your router. If you don't want those ports open, we can help shut them down too as well.
There you go. See, I belong to a vMix group, and that's the software that we use to do our shows. And the guy was having a issue going and streaming from a location where I think was it 1983, or which is a common port or something like that. And I said, well, you need to contact the IT guys and have the IT guys go in and open up a different port. Not 1953.
Well, sometimes your internet service provider will block ports on their own network for those reasons. If that's how, for instance, you have Netflix, You have all these different streaming services. Each one of those services, a lot of times, use different ports to communicate with their content delivery networks. And in order to do that, those ports have to be open. If the service provider wants to shut down those ports, they can. There's nothing saying that. They just have to give you internet at this speed. There's nothing saying that, we can't limit this and we can't limit that.
They can't
Net
throttle
what?
you down.
Net neutrality, what? What? So, they can shut down any ports if they want to. And if it's going to interfere, they can use the excuse, it's causing too much drag on our network. Our systems are being overloaded with so many people streaming, or doing this or doing that, and they're hitting all this one single port on our network. So we had to shut it down so that way we could better balance the network for the rest of the users across the
Wow,
network.
it sounds like socialism.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, you can't have your individual thing because
Not that we're gonna go
not
there.
because you paid for it,
Right.
which you did,
Yeah.
which is why you bought it.
Right,
But,
exactly.
Yeah. Well,
So the hackers have been busy, especially the Chinese guys. So the suspected Chinese hackers unleashed malware that can survive OS reinstalls. How is that possible? Because I thought once you boot,
I
once
read
you
it.
clean,
That's just it.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That is the
How do you boot?
how you boot
From
now
the boot
today.
files.
Yeah, you can't.
They're depositing it in the solid state drive, the flash drive that is part of the motherboard, not even on the hard drive.
So,
so
Yes.
you'd have to have a clean boot disk.
do you know how, like, when you launch a computer, you get into the BIOS? Back in the day,
Yes.
you used
Yep.
keyboard and stuff to manipulate and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And those firmware files were, written. They were just, kind of very lame versions of different input and outputs that you can change
Right.
about the computer. Basic input and output features
Yeah.
of the computer. Today's UEFI BIOS is literally an operating system. You have a mouse, you have a cursor, you can literally move stuff around, do stuff. It's like a little miniature Linux operating system built into it. And the issue with today is, there's features called like secure boot, things like that you're supposed to have turned on that helps
Right.
keep things being written to it.
Right, right.
But these guys have been able to utilize the technology that UEFI uses. For instance, if you are writing new firmware or updating its features. And in this particular case, they knew of a particular either motherboard manufacturer or computer hardware manufacturer that uses the same kind of UEFI technology, and they rewrote a firmware for it and basically uploaded it to the computer. So what would happen is, say the computer did get this virus and or malware, and you found out about it, and you go in there and you say, okay, fine, we're just going to go ahead and wipe it out. Well, you reinstall the operating system on a fully partitioned drive, nothing left on it, or you even go out and buy a brand new hard drive, put it in a machine. The minute that machine turns on and it starts to load the Windows Boot Manager needed to go ahead and launch the operating system, it automatically installed a folder back onto the C drive of the computer from the UEFI that allowed perpetrators
door.
back into
Right.
the computer.
Right. It's like, hey guys, your back door's open again.
Is there any way to actually? Is there a software or something that goes and go scan the boot drive?
Well, see, the UEFI is technically, it's kind of like supposed to be
yet.
off limits.
Oh,
So, and
Don't
the
touch
problem
that.
is they made it.
Yeah.
The same with
It's
that.
perfect at keeping the security packages out.
right.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
somebody writes something purposely to go in. The same thing with the what was that? Meltdown. I forgot what that one was. Where the microcode in the CPUs, Intel
Okay.
and AMD, were being utilized to
Yeah.
infect and run malicious code on a computer. Same situation. The processors, even your processor is as small as it is, and thinking that it's just a piece of hardware, literally has its own little set of code.
Right.
And
It has
operating system.
.exe files.
Yeah,
It has
loaded in it.
executable files that have to run, And so it just runs down a list, and somebody dropped in a new .exe that
Exactly.
puts the new backdoor out onto your C drive again, so they can then access it.
So
Do we
So-
need to go back to the old days of where
no,
we build a boot
I mean,
drive?
you can re-image. You can go ahead and re-download the UEFI boot manager and the original code back from the manufacturer, and then go ahead and reload it and get it fixed. But the problem is, most people are not going to know how to do that, or they're not going to do that. They're going to think that wiping the computer is going to fix a problem.
Yeah.
IT managers,
So
for
where
instance.
do you download that at?
You usually go to the OEM, like if it's an HP computer, you go to
Or
HP's
MSI?
website.
Yeah.
MSI. You go to whoever built the
What is
device.
perhaps the most pernicious about this
That's
is
that's a fancy word. What's
Fancy.
that mean?
that means it's like quietly dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Is not
Yeah.
the kind of malware that I've been dealing with for the last week, which has been very active malware. There's this jerk out in the world who thinks he's really, really smart, and he takes great pride and is doing a head count on how many sites he can take down. And it's a disgusting
Trying
philosophy.
to get a job at the Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just, one of these things I've been going after, but he has to leave really big visible clues that he's hacked a site. And so that's what he specializes in. He's up to like 1,700 small business people that he has crushed.
Oh.
And that's
He can't go
his...
after the big boys? He ain't got the balls?
No, he can only go after, little
Well,
guys
you're not
with
impressive
standard
unless
stuff.
you're taking down somebody big, as far as I'm
Exactly.
concerned.
But in this case,
call him out on there?
I won't quite explain how I finally beat him, but it was fun. And but the point being, in order for this, this can be the kind of backdoor that is not just used for malware, but could be used for spyware. And that's what really matters, because being able to get into virtually any hard drive, okay, depositing this in it so that it is hidden, it is up there in the motherboard, and if they put in spyware, you'd have no symptoms. That's the point behind spyware. You would not know you were infected. You would not have any idea that this was happening. And so then, the question now is, how many people have actually got spyware on their computers that are running from a system like this? Because what the hackers do is they come in, they look at your computer, and they'll make a decision. Is this worth money? Okay, are they doing something financially I can steal? Do they have a customer list? Something like
Right.
that, okay, with personal data. They will then look at it and go, is this something I can use as a trophy? Okay, so I can go, ooh, is it good for ransomware? Or is this high security stuff, and is this going to be worth money if I spy on them? And those are your four categories of hacks that are coming through. If one of the things I found out in the last week, and it's really funny how, data really, how you analyze it really makes a difference in what you can say about it. Something like 73% of hackers that were interviewed and surveyed said that your software, your virus protection software, your malware protection software, and your firewall don't matter to them at all. They have no concern over those things, which makes it sound like, wow, they know how to blow through any kind of commercial, firewall or anything of that nature. Then I read deeper into it, and oddly enough, it's just about the same percentage of hackers who are focusing on brute force attacks. And they're actually trying to get your password. Because once they have your password, your firewall and your malware software don't matter. So that's exactly why they don't care about it. It's not that the software doesn't work. Believe me, I've got the proof. I mean, I was sitting there on Sunday morning trying to have breakfast when my phone blew up with a massive brute force attack on one of the associations that I handle.
Right.
And I had to go in and lock that thing down 12 ways from Sunday, so I was the only person able to access it in the world. You had to be in my house on my Wi-Fi in order to get into
your
that
Wi-Fi?
website. Yeah, well, I was having breakfast with my Wi-Fi, but yes. I'm here all week.
Boom.
And so, I love the software and totally locked these guys out. And away they went. They just gave up because everything was locked down tight under drum. So there are things that you can do. You have to know how to do them. You have to know how to do the settings because what they're after is your password.
And you have to be vigilant.
And that's why they're going after the medium to small businesses.
Exactly.
Because the big boys have got people that are going.
How many of them have the admin of their website is named admin? Oh my God. Okay. If you don't have your security settings set so that if somebody tries to use that name, they and all of their neighbors are automatically blocked forever from seeing your website. Okay, from even seeing it. Forget about logging in. Okay, then you've oopsed. Of course, then there's VPNs because as I'm watching these hundreds of attacks come through, okay, over the course of minutes, I'm watching as they hit my wall, try the admin, bang, get knocked back out again, and they can't get back in. Their VPN automatically adjusts them to a different area of the world. And I'm seeing China, and I'm seeing Germany, and I'm seeing Africa, and I'm seeing France. I'm seeing all these things popping in, okay, as it's the same attack over and over and over again. But they're coming from all different VPNs all over the world.
Now, see, and this is what most Americans, this is why they get frustrated with our world. The web world, the internet world, the electronic side of it is because we'll sit there in 1 week, we'll say, you got to use VPNs. They're super safe, they're blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And then a week and a half later, they hear from us going, well, they were using VPNs to hack us.
That's right.
So, the average human that walks around going, well, we're confused. I thought you said it was good. No, it's not good. No, it's good. No, it's not good. No, it's good.
It's what they're used for.
It does keep you safe, but what it doesn't do is what it doesn't.
Two different things.
It allows other people that know how to use it better than the normal person.
Well,
and they use it for dark.
Look, John, it's a gun.
It's frustrating.
Okay, it's a gun.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you keep one in your house for protection, or do you just count on the fact that the bad guys won't use one? Okay?
Right.
I mean, they're both the same. You can both buy the exact same model at 9mm. It's a question of what you use it for.
Right.
And it's the same thing with a VPN. A VPN allows you to put a layer of protection between you and the web when you're surfing, when you're doing anything. But on the other hand, that same tool can be used by the bad guys, and it's not your tool they're using. Nope. Don't make that mistake. Right. We're talking they go out, they get their own VPN service so that they can then dance all over the world. Now, one of the reasons that they get frustrated with the way I set up security is because they have to keep making their VPN dance.
Right.
Switch over to a new location in order to hack its way in. That is one very simple layer that makes them go, ugh, every time we try this. Mm-hmm. And, what's really dumb is that no matter how many times they try that, they never figure out, or at least they don't for a while, that it's using the word admin as a login that is getting them bumped.
Just use Bobby. The name Bobby.
Yeah. But then
Frank,
I'll start to see,
Earl.
but then after several, I'll start to see that they're changing and they're trying, the name of the website as a login.
Right.
Or they're trying info as a login. Or they're trying, all these, or they're looking for anybody that's posted there. And they're pulling that information and they're putting that in. I mean, and it's all being generated automatically because it's happening, just every second it's coming through.
Right.
And, these are the kinds of things that this is what we're up against. And it just is so frustrating because it serves no benefit. This guy literally has on his Facebook page, it is not a crime to hack a website. So I'm going to keep trying to see how many I can get. Right. Because there's nothing, no, even better. I think it was, because it's not a crime, it's not morally wrong. I'm like, what? Who was your ethics teacher? Because he failed miserably.
The streets.
Yeah. So if it's legal, it is morally right. That's another thing that's pretty damn questionable. All right. So, all right, now let's on to the next one.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
Because, that horse is dead.
We hacked that one to death.
And we did. So, so I didn't put this in there. Judge loosens Apple's grip on App Store and Epic decision.
Yep.
So,
That was a funny decision.
That was a weird
So
decision.
what was the
Adam, what was
decision?
your take on it?
Well, I like Epic takes Apple to court, right? And says, you got to let us, use our own payment method so we can bypass the 30% we have to pay you so people could, buy in-game content. They basically were going to try, were at one point driving people to, their own portal.
Right.
Kind of like Steam, stuff like that, to buy their own stuff.
Right.
They want to bypass all the big guys, Apple, Steam, Google Play, stuff like that. They're trying to make money. Well, when Apple said, no, you can't do that, and shut them down, they're like, okay, we're going to take you to court. You can't hold us back. Well, judge sided with Apple and didn't. He basically told Apple, well, you're right. According to your guidelines, you can't do what they're trying to do. So Apple was in the right to go ahead and lock them out of the store. But at the same time, the judge also said, you have 90 days, Apple, to allow these people to be able to have their own, way of buying stuff outside of your network, and allowing these developers the ability to communicate with their clients if they want to, if they choose to, and however they want to. So it's kind of a win because Apple gets to lock out, it's Epic, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
Epic
gets to keep Epic out of the Apple Store.
Epic
So-
or EA? Epic. Okay.
Epic. So Epic now, even though it's kind of like a win, it's a kind of a lose at the same time because Apple has all the rights to not allow them back in. So that's, thanks Epic. You did something to, help everybody else.
Yeah,
but you
so
got nothing out of it.
I guess the decision is, if you want to come in, you got to do it our way, and that's okay. But your option, if you want to sell outside, then you can't come in. But since I've already let you in, I got to let you do the charge thing because you're already here. Well, then I maybe I'm not understanding that right. I mean, what I read was that they were basically faulting Apple for trying to be too controlling. And I look at that and I remember things like Barnes and Noble, for example. You can't buy from the Barnes and Noble app. You can read from it. You can do everything you want from it on books that you buy at bn.com and have in your account if you have ebooks. But you can't read or you can't buy a book from from Barnes and Noble on your Barnes and Noble app on your phone, on your Nook app. You can't do it. There's no way to buy in the Nook app. So I look at that and I'm like, how is that different from what EA wants or Epic wants to do? I'm not seeing the difference on that one. And so, and how about Amazon? Okay.
you can buy everything on Amazon.
Can you
Probably find a wife if you're really that desperate.
Hold on. Can you use your Kindle app to buy books on an iPhone? That's the question. I don't think you can. I think you have to be driven off-site, and then you can come back to read it.
Well, they were kind of like allowing people to do the purchases within the app, but driving them off-site, having their main account, you have your main account, which has the free version of the game, but you want the add-ons, you have to go off-site onto a computer, log into your account,
Right.
purchase what you want, and unlock those features. But the app itself would just technically be the client
Yeah.
to the portal of your main account.
Right.
That would be understandable, but they were trying to allow people to just bypass the in-app purchases directly in the app itself.
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
Right, and
So
that's
that's
where the problem lies.
like Barnes and Noble just said, okay, fine, this is how we'll do it.
You know,
Okay, and they gave up, and that's what they did.
So you like in the app, you would click a link, and then it would open up Safari, and then allow you to go. They're
Yeah.
not gonna no. You want that feature, you gotta sorry, your account doesn't support that feature at this time.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
a judge did allow additional, app developers that option though. So and I think that's supposed to not be enforceable for 90 days.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. What's next?
Interesting. We're going to jump down to pro-American education.
Oh,
I'm kind of interested in that one. I did not put this in here either.
I
I
did.
don't.
How did he get there?
How did it get
It
there?
just appears magically.
Anthony.
Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to hear about Amazon to pay full cost of college tuition fees and take us for U.S. hourly employees.
Yeah, that's awesome.
on your dime.
Got to do something with those billions and billions. And so put a little bit into
Pro-American education.
Yeah, this is interesting. There are a lot of teachers who are finding themselves in very uncomfortable situations these days, where
like
the
you have to have the
curriculum
shot.
that's coming down, well, beyond that, but the curriculum that's coming down is something that they don't personally agree with or professionally agree with, which is much more important.
Right.
They're looking at it and saying, this is not true. This is not how things happened, and we're being asked to teach something different. And so they have formed an online learning kind of consortium called Pro-American Education, which of course, sets up the idea that anything else is anti-American education. So wink, wink, nod, nod on great marketing. But this is, what's the URL on that? Pro-American?
AmericanScholarships.com.
Oh, that's right, American. And it is simply a place for resources and teachers and soon actual classes. Where you can go in and you can learn history. This is going to be great considering the number of homeschoolers has doubled, and like post-COVID, not because of COVID, but we're saying post-COVID, as parents were able to see what was going on, what their kids were being taught, they were pulling them and they said, I'm going to do this myself. And so you've seen the number of school kids from, being homeschooled go from 5% to almost 10% now.
Right.
And so they've lost 1 out of 10. And so having resources like this that are excellent resources, and we aren't even talking about, like that Canadian professor with 20 years experience, was an ethics professor with degrees in ethics and ancient history, and is being terminated because she won't get the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, how is this? Okay, I'm a professor of ethics. This is unethical. By definition, I tell you this is unethical because that's what I do for a living. And so, it's... If we are not going to allow for differences of opinion and differences of interpretation, then, what's the point of having an internet at all? You might just have a one-way channel that pumps into your living room every day. I don't know.
That's called the TV.
It's
Come
called
on.
a TV. Oh, yeah, and no off switch. That's
Right.
the other thing you need. So that's what's going on with that. It looks like a pretty good project. They just launched it a little while ago, like a few weeks ago, and it already looks like it's catching up pretty nicely.
Well, it is what it is. So, all right, AMD. We all love AMD. No, I really don't like AMD. So I'm sorry. Filed a teleportation patent, but it's not for humans.
That just bugged me so badly. I mean, why are you being such a bigot? Why are you going to transport dogs and elephants and alligators and humpback
They
whales?
can't sue you.
Because they can't sue you when they show up
You wanna
without
get
their
down to
memories.
You want to get down to the brass tacks of it, they can't sue you.
Lies.
Or maybe
I
it's
don't know.
because
I remember when AMD first came on the scene, you wouldn't go near their technology. You know what I'm saying?
And
So why would I trust you to
clearly, Dr.
teleport?
McCoy thought that AMD built the first transporters, and maybe this is it. Maybe we're going through it. I mean, we have transparent aluminum now.
Poor Scotty.
This is technology for quantum computers to help stabilize them. Is pretty much what it is. And most likely using that. What is it? Spooky action at a distance.
Yeah.
Using that.
Right.
That theory and trying to help, stabilize the quantum computers, and
That makes sense.
pretty interesting.
So it's not going to be used for food delivery instantly in your
Uber?
Probably more saying
Uber Eats.
teleportation.
Uber
this
Eats.
electron over here looks like this, and over there it will look like this as well.
Right.
Wow.
Well, and at that point, are you using entanglement?
Yes.
More so than
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's what it sounds
and I
like,
think,
yeah.
And they're trying to
They're
eliminate
forcing
the amount of
entanglement.
what they call qubits inside
Yeah.
these quantum computers.
Right.
To be able to solve and get some more reliable answers from them instead of
Yeah, I think
1 + 1 = 25. What?
If it will,
It has to spit out a whole bunch of wrong numbers to get the right one, and then we
And it's
got
in
to
there
use the
somewhere,
process
but
of elimination
dang, it was
to figure
fast.
if
out.
it will get me a
fast.
food processor that I can walk up and say Big Mac, and it make me a Big Mac, I'm good with it.
that's probably just a few weeks away.
You know, it is not far off because of how deep these guys are digging into matter.
I mean, I'm looking at what they're doing, but I mean, already the 3D printing of food
Yeah.
is already a thing. So you're getting closer.
Yeah,
all the
we
time.
can 3D print food, but we forgot to add the flavors.
Yeah, that's where you run into the fun part. But actually, they're 3D printing almost at the level, almost at the molecular level with what they're doing, and so you're actually getting the flavors. I know that it works with the 3D meat that they're doing. It tastes like steak,
Tastes like meat.
and
Does it come out cooked?
Yeah, that's what I was
it can.
steaming, medium, I guess.
Oh,
medium
it definitely
rare,
will come
guys.
out hot. I mean, that's just the
I
nature
want
of
my
3D
steak
printers.
to be printed with grill marks.
Please,
I'm sure they can.
synthetic steam.
Yeah, synthetic steam. So you blast the steam from up above. Look, it's steaming.
Steaming, see, it's real, right? Oh, so moving on.
Okay.
Apple and Google secretive iPhone deal suddenly exposed. I did not put this in here. See, I was lazy this week. I wanted to talk about EMFs, but
Yep.
we can't do that the whole day. So anyway,
I thought this was kind of interesting myself.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what's going? I mean, what are they trying to make phones together?
No,
No.
it's that Google's now the default search engine in your phone for Safari and everything.
Not for any.
And well, not for much
not for
longer.
Anthony.
Not for much longer. That's the point. The reason it's exposed is because they opened it up, and you can now choose your default search engine. You can make DuckDuckGo, but Google
Quack, quack,
was
trip.
paying billions to Apple to be their default web or search engine, and in order to gather all that data.
Back in the day, you used to be able to go to google.com, and when you did it on your Safari at the bottom, you'd say, location. I noticed that stopped working.
Yes. Did
Right.
you see that?
We don't need permission because we already have permission.
already have
We have permission from Apple, which you signed when you bought your phone. Have a nice day. So
Enjoy.
Apple flipped it around, but that is ending, is my understanding from reading the article. Okay, that
It kinda makes you wonder why.
that deal was exposed. Well, no, it's their privacy stuff they're going through.
I know.
Yes, and so they're like, okay, we're going to cut this off, and they're going to open it up maybe to other search engines. But you got other search engines like DuckDuckGo. They're like, nyeh. And so the other rumor that is floating around is that Apple may be buying DuckDuckGo and just make it Apple Search. And I think that would be pretty cool because you know what? Wow, have I seen a difference in DuckDuckGo? It's solid now.
Right.
The results I get on it are excellent. So I cannot say enough good stuff about it. And the more of us that use it, the better it gets.
Speaking of better, the more you use it. Okay, so we're all iPhone guys here, right?
Yep.
If you go into your text folder, your text, how far back did your text go?
To millennia and beyond.
You can set that in settings.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah.
how far? I'm not asking you. I know you can set it, but how
Yeah.
far back does yours go?
I don't know. Do you know?
I do. I went back to 2015.
Yeah, you can search stuff.
And let me tell you something.
How large is your iCloud account?
That's the question. Yeah.
But here's what happened. I went in there and cleaned everything out up until 2021. Right?
Okay.
And my phone acts better.
Yep.
It's faster.
Oh, yeah.
It's not heavy anymore. I mean, it loads.
You have to think of Apple products, especially even their phones, their computers and stuff. They are just giant. Each app or each program is a giant database.
It is.
They
Yep.
all are just databases.
So I read an article and I didn't bring it in. I didn't put it in the thing because I didn't know if we'd had enough time today, and we're almost out of time. So I'm just going to jump on this topic. So I found out that every phone number that's in your text, they track everything. And if you're in a group, they're watching all the group text.
Yep.
Every emoji, every image, every little video clip, that's a
Yep.
drag on your phone.
Massive.
So everything's sitting, and I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm going in and I cleaned all my emails out. I keep everything's on the server side. So I receive everything over there.
Yeah.
But my texts were massive.
Oh, yeah. Well, how many photos do we text around? It's crazy.
Yeah,
And
it
I mean,
keeps a snippet of
yesterday,
that.
in order to avoid that, I had to send 18 videos, okay, to Amy. She was out shooting some mounted archery.
She was filming? Oh, no.
I was
actually
filming.
shooting.
She was shooting. Sorry,
Okay.
she was shooting mounted archery, okay, and on these different course layouts. And so I just immediately forget about texting. I used AirDrop.
And see, here's another one
Yeah.
too, Messenger.
Oh, Facebook Messenger is a
If-
massive hog.
If you have images and videos, that affects your processing in the back of the phone,
Oh, yes.
as well as it'll eat up memory.
Yes. Yeah, you got to
So
go back
you
through and
"Where are all-
delete.
I mean, I had 12 gigs or 100 gigs or whatever. Why am I full? Because you have
Yes.
imagery.
Have you guys
All that stuff.
noticed in the past few days your phones are starting to get a little glitchy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Why? What's going on?
Well,
got
just
fit-
iOS 15 is getting ready to be announced. And
Oh, yeah. So they want everybody
now
to
they want
switch.
everybody to
New iPhones getting ready to release.
Yeah, the switch glitch.
Well, just
okay.
remember these devices are like little clients to Apple servers. So as Apple goes in there and starts updating and doing their stuff on the back end,
Yeah.
your phones are acting really
We got
glitchy.
30 seconds. When's the next big event for Apple?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I
There you
believe
go.
1 o'clock
Ta-da.
Eastern.
What do you know?
What do you know?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for watching today. We appreciate it. We're back. We're not going to take any more time
Yeah.
off. It's just
No.
the way it is.
No.
We-
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank
New
you for
studios.
being loyal, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, and if you got anything you want us to talk about, text Shamans at WeBeamTV.com or hit us up on Facebook. We'll be there. Email us, though. We like that better. We'll see everybody next week. Have a great techie week. See ya.
Bye, everybody.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.